This is Vikings United, your ultimate destination for everything Minnesota Vikings. Bringing together the most passionate fans, insightful analysts, and dynamic creators from across Skol Nation. Get ready for deep dives, spirited debates, and exclusive insights from Coach Cody. We're celebrating our community, honoring our heroes, and fueling your fandom with Pillars of Valor coffee. This is more than a show. It's a movement. This is Vikings United.
Handy.
Purple and gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, that's how you know. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Representing Skol, the gang, you know the name. It's a Minnesota thing. Put that on the purple blood that's running through these golden veins. Hail, sleet, snow, or rain, regardless, we gon' go to games. $1 billion stadium on Sundays, they don't close the bank. Fail, rarely get your tail buried. If it's JJ to JJ on Hail Marys, I'm like Aaron Jones, I see the field clearly. Gain 150 yards off of 12 carries and 2 tugs. I say you crack a can of ice cold whoop ass on the Packers fan. Downtown Minneapolis, where we pack the stands and put our hands above our heads when we clap our hands. That's how we clap our hands. We put our hands above our head when we clap our hands. Now clap your hands and put your hands above your head when you clap your hands. That's how we clap our hands. We put our hands above our head when we clap our hands. I said clap your hands and put your hands above your head when you clap your hands. Purple and gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, that's how you know. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. If you from Minnesota, let me know. If you from Minnesota, here we go. Minnesota know this. Minnesota know this. I'm known to Skol and then blow the coldest and Skol until I got scoliosis. So when we Skol, we so ferocious. So just know, just way before 84 was the dopest. We showed you who the purple and gold is. If you from Minnesota, let me know. Right now. If you from Minnesota, here we go. Minnesota. Purple and gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol.
Welcome into the Scene Project Sports Network. You are here tonight for Vikings United. Man, I am so hyped every time I listen to that song. Shout out to our guy Prince, Chris Clay, with a banger of a track. That's Purple and Gold. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Coach Cody. Big B is in the house. What's up, gentlemen? It's Super Bowl week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I already got a couple parlays going. You know.
Hey, Coach is trying to hit one of these and retire from his 65 jobs.
Well, it'll happen. But yeah, it's Super Bowl week. We just saw some highlights of the boringest All-Star game ever in the Pro Bowl.
Is that going on?
Yeah, I think it was last week or something, but they're replaying it. But out of all that, I mean, what can we say? As long as we get a good Super Bowl season, to end the season, I think the season was a phenomenal year with a lot of great games and stuff like that. Let's end it on a banger.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I kind of, after watching the first round of the player, the second round, I had called Seattle being real tough towards the end of the season. Watch them kick the shit out of the Niners was very eye-opening. Yeah, there you go. Close enough. That's what we said, Danielle.
Close to it. Yeah.
Andre in the house. Welcome in, brother. I'm looking forward to some hot takes tonight out of Andre. I'm sure we're going to find them. Shout out to Vocal Vike who brought his.
Well, over under that, he talked about firing KOC throughout the show. I mean, over under. I mean,
Quasi firing. We know that KOC is safe at least for this week, but I think his seat's hot. If this offense comes out and stumbles early on, he's got no excuses. Because I think, and let's just start there. For everybody that doesn't know, hot news of the week here in Vikings fandom: Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah fired after the Senior Bowl. Weird timing. A lot of talk about that. It kind of seems like they maybe shipped him out for the Senior Bowl, had some secret meetings behind closed doors while he was gone and said, see you later. This is something we were calling for mid-season. I think from the first time that we had done the show, this had been a topic of discussion. So no surprise here. Kwesi fired, and now I think KOC given a lot of authority over the picks that are going to happen, right? You don't have a GM that they're hiring until after the draft. So, it almost puts him in a hotter of a seat, I feel like, moving forward. There's no stumbling entering our fan bases in shambles. I thought everybody was going to be happy, Andre. Like, I figured everybody was kind of calling for this, for a long time. But now it's KOC's turn to shit or get off the pot. Look, buddy, you like to lay the blame at everyone else's feet. Your young quarterback, your staff, and all these different things now. So put up or shut up. You have the reins now. What are you going to do about it? And I think the leash is going to be fairly short. I think you could see a midseason firing of a head coach because you've re-signed B-Flow, right? And you could feel very comfortable putting him in that position. We've had some other, assistant head coaching hire as well. So you kind of have people waiting in the wings now. So for me, this firing, I think, is going to make KOC's seat a little bit hotter if there are some stumbles out of the gate next season. Coach, what's your take?
Well, I mean, first of all, wow. Like, weird timing, and you never, I don't know. I was on the train of letting him go mid-season, before the season, and even before last season. But, my sources say that he wasn't liked inside that office, that front office. Him and Flores didn't get along. It was known that he was kind of just learning on the job. And I mean, you could definitely tell in some areas. So, I mean, we'll have to see what goes on, but like you said, now KOC can't blame anybody. Like it's on him. Like, it's put up or shut up time. Like you said, shit or get off the pot. Let's see if we can do it. If we start off slow, who knows how long that leash is going to be. The behind the Adam Thielen signing or the trade, that wasn't even a Kwesi move or nothing like that. He had nothing to do with that. I got people telling me that, is the now acting as GM that pulled the trigger on that. So, I mean, it just makes you wonder, what are we even doing?
Yeah, B, what do you got on the Kwesi firing?
Well, I mean, it was funny because I'm at work and my boss calls me on the work phone. I sit in the office all day. He calls me on the work phone and he goes, "Hey, they just fired Kwesi." I'm just like, "What? Really?" And, so then I texted you guys. But overall, I'm somewhat shocked. But, I mean, you bring in a guy to run an organization that's, I mean, he probably knows the game of football, but he's never been in a football organization. He comes from Wall Street. So I think they were trying to play the all analytics game and see what, formulas he can come up with and, ideas. And it just didn't work. So now, like we said, KLC's got pretty much full control of the draft and what it's going to be. Hopefully his ego doesn't get involved too much and they talk about things instead of trying to get his guys. I'm just kind of worried now that maybe with all that power, if the Joe Burrow saga continues or the trade rumors continues, does he pull that trigger to bring in Joe Burrow to get his guy? Does he go out and sign Aaron Rodgers? What are those his guys? Was JJ not his guy? So it's going to be something that we're going to watch all offseason and see who's under center week one. Hopefully they go with the kid, but again, if it wasn't a KLC's guy, where does that go now? I mean, I think that just leaves a bigger question on the offensive side at the quarterback position on what they're going to do.
Well, and I just want to address Andre's thing here. Now, Kwesi may have wanted it, but Kwesi and KOC got hired at the same time. Yeah. So he never really was in that position. And if he was so adamant about Harbaugh, he didn't have to take the job either, right? So, I mean, I kind of push back a little bit on that. He says we're doomed if KOC has all the power. I mean, that's to be seen. To me, I think Brian Flores is going to have quite a bit of say. We're really going to see what that team looks like. I think the two gentlemen work pretty well together. I don't mind KOC as a head coach. Where I really had a problem with him was as the play caller. Now, and in theory, the whole Adam Thielen thing sounded good, right? But you weren't having eyes on him in the building anymore. And if you thought you were getting the Adam Thielen that you had on your team 2 years ago, and in your mind, you're like, oh, we're getting our guy. And then he shows up and you're like, he's lost 30 attribute points in every area, right? Like he's just a different player, right? And it's hard to see that if you're not really putting eyes in as a head coach. You're not getting that time. You're relying on your pro scouting department to kind of feed you some information. And you know what? I don't think it was great. If that was all KOC and just to have that security blanket because you knew that you weren't going to have, Jordan Addison for those first 3 games and Naylor's availability was looking iffy as well. And you just needed somebody that you could plug and play in. I kind of understand it, but giving up draft capital for a player that was barely on your team and then was happy to leave it and requesting to get out at the end of the day, this is not a good look. So, right. A little bit of pushback there, but also, I can kind of understand the move. But hey, it's not all about being comfortable. Sometimes you just got to go.
One thing I want to add on that led up to that Adam Thielen trade was, Naylor was hurt. Jefferson was battling an injury. And they, I'm hearing that they actually went up to Kwesi and was like, hey, what are we doing? We got to get somebody in here. And he was just hemming and hawing at that. And then finally, someone else had to step in and make the trade for Thielen. And
Andre, he was QB coach and then elevated to offensive coordinator on a team that went to the Super Bowl that year before. So he didn't just jump from QB coach to head coach. And when you're looking for someone who doesn't have the experience, they got to come from somewhere. So I don't know what you're kind of expecting to do. Obviously, it sounds like you were kind of a Harbaugh guy and you wanted Harbaugh just as much as Kwesi did, reportedly, which would I'm not pushing back on the Harbaugh thing, but, the guy's got an abrasive personality. He wanted all the control. Right. And you don't know that the, Wilts were willing to do that. At the end of the day, we don't own the team. Right. We don't know what goes into those decisions. So, not pushing back too much on it. I don't find KOC to be a bad leader of men. The way he, has control over the locker room, the way he presents himself. I don't have a problem with that. I really had a problem with his play calling. And I don't know that he can ever get out of his own way in that regard as well.
Well, and I think
not pushing back on. We know Sean McVay calls the plays in his thing, but you for a guy that's looking to elevate, like where are you gonna go in that world, right? So, that's fine. I don't want KOC calling the plays on this team. I would prefer them find someone to go out and to be the play caller. I'm saying as a head coach, a CEO of the team, you have to deal with personalities, and you need a person in that position that can deal with different personalities, that can maybe coddle someone when they need it, or to be a little bit more stern and to do that. Now, that's to be seen. I don't necessarily like how he handled the way he kind of threw his QB under the bus several times this year, but maybe that's what JJ needs to be the quarterback that we want him to be. Maybe he needs a little bit of that tough love and to be called out publicly for some things. I think the continuing to take shots at him for missing that one practice when he was literally at the hospital watching his child be born, I don't know if those shots need to do that, but we see there.
But the Quincy love for Harbaugh goes back to when I think they were both in San Fran at the same time. I think he was in the office. So, of course, he's going to want a guy he's familiar with. I'd have to go back and look and find out who was hired first, Quincy or KOC, because I know it was within a matter of days, I think, between from the hiring of both of them.
Andre, weren't you asking for Randy Moss to be the head coach last week on the show? I can't remember. You had a lot of crazy takes last week, so I'm cool.
But I'm with you, Bubba. I think KOC just needs to focus on the head coach. Let's get an offensive coordinator in there. We already got a D coordinator that's doing a good job. Let's find somebody that can call the plays, and get the ship right.
Yeah, I think it's asking too much. I know there's some coaches, but those coaches aren't in the Super Bowl, right? Mm-hmm. Those guys that are head coaches and calling the plays, McVay's not in there, right? And hasn't been really back to that level. I think it's a tough ask for any coach to be able to do both, because there's so much going on the sideline. And Cody, you can speak to this. Were you calling the plays on your defense with the St. Paul Bears during this season?
Me and Coach Chris McGregor, we were tag teaming that up, and I let Coach Fred Rashaw take care of the offense. I just let it go. There was too much, to manage. Also being GM of the team, so it got to be a lot, and you just gotta. Know when enough's enough and start delegating. And so that's what we had to do. And it worked out.
Exactly. And that's what I would like to see. I would like to see KOC do a little bit more of this season, because he's not going anywhere. Like I said, his ass could be on the line by week 8 if this team's stumbling and is below 500 entering mid of the season, especially if they do get the veteran quarterback that they want. And it appears like they're really going to, assess those avenues. The Mac Jones trade wouldn't surprise us at this point. I think there were some failures. I think putting it on essentially a rookie QB right into his second year, who was coming off a knee injury, I don't think that was a smart play. I think having someone in the building that could start those first few games, which I don't think that KOC is like all out on JJ, but also coming into the season going, look, we haven't seen the kid practice and be out on the field. He didn't get all that time on the field last year. Like, we should have someone that's in that role. And obviously with Darnold, going to the Super Bowl this week, and, Daniel Jones kind of tearing things up the way that he was, I think a lot of that falls onto the that's crazy. That's a crazy statement. KOC is the worst Viking coach of Vikings history by far. That's just wild, man.
Oh my God.
That's just you're out of control, Andre. I appreciate your takes. The man's done nothing but win since he got here. He's had, even last year they finished above 500. So to say that he's a worst Viking coach by far is
Brad Childress.
Yeah, that's
Mike Tice.
Crazy.
Mike Tice.
Does he have flaws? Yes. I'm not saying that he's perfect by any means.
Get the job done, though.
That was wild statement. I appreciate you, Andre. Stick around.
So I looked it up. Quincy was hired a month prior to KOC coming. January 26th was when Quincy got hired, and then February 2020 or February 22nd is when KOC got hired. So.
Yeah, I mean, and how much say does a new GM coming in who's fresh to the job to have in that process, right? Obviously, he wasn't given all the reins right off the get-go to make, all of those decisions. And who knows where this team would be with Harbaugh. I mean, Harbaugh ended up spending another season at Michigan before getting a thing in here. And, we maybe we still end up with JJ McCarthy on this team, considering that he played for Harbaugh at Michigan, right? So, where we stand now, I know one thing, that if Jim Harbaugh was here, we would be running the damn ball, and we would be built around that. But we're not here to play revisionist history. The team is where we're at now. KOC's your head coach. He's also your de facto GM, I would assume, at this point. Being in here.
Yeah, I think the reports are that Przinski, I think, takes on the role.
I guess what I'm saying is that he ain't making the football decision. Sounds like he's more of a cap.
The money guy, yep.
Gonna need. I think KOC's running the draft. That would be my opinion, that he's definitely running that draft room and getting his guys in here, and you're going to rely on what was his name? B.
Rob Przinski is the money guy.
So you'll be relying on Przinski to kind of fill in the veteran roster and to kind of work it, because you got some finagling you need to do with this cap, right? You got some caps that are going to be here. Yeah, totally agree with you, Mike James. This is KOC's draft room now. You don't know how much say and what that war room was like in seasons past. And I think it's going to be a lot of, him and Flores and kind of they're laying the foundation for the next 3 years. They both are now on deals through 2029 to see what happens. And, it really puts the onus on them to go, okay, boys, here's what you got. I'm assuming KOC is going to be in the room for the hiring of the next GM as well, and is going to be in the conversations, as well as a Brian Flores. I think you have to have B-Flow and everybody kind of on the same page. You want someone who's a partner, not necessarily coming over top of them to say, this is my team. You're looking to put something together that work harmoniously between the three of them. I think the Wilfs are obviously happy with the coaching staffs that they have in place now. And they're willing to put someone in probably on a 3-year deal, I would assume, that kind of runs everybody running to the end of 2029. And then at that point, if it's, in shambles, that you're blowing the whole damn thing up. And maybe they are looking to tank a season and not looking at this kind of competitive rebuild that they've been stuck in for, year after year, one good season, and then you're back to the competitive rebuild. And then you have another double-digit win season, and then you're kind of back to the same thing.
I just envision that the draft room is, the normal thing, but it always comes to mind Draft Day, the movie where Kevin, I can't think the actor's name, walks into the room and goes, the pick's already been in, and the whole room erupts. Like, I thought we were turning it together, and stuff like that. So
you can't base everything just off of playoff wins, Andre. No, I understand. No. You're talking about the one of those wins being the Minneapolis Miracle, right? Like, come on. You're talking about the flukiest of fluke plays that wins you a game against the Saints. Like, you that's not the coach. That's not the coach who won that game. That's an incredible play by one player. And yes, a fairly new school. I haven't been
or a bad misplay on the defense. I mean, that could have gone either way. So
yeah. Okay, Andre. Well, we can agree to disagree on that. You have your opinions, obviously. Yeah. Okay. So a win is a win. So what about the 14 that they had last year, or the 12 or 13 win season? So you're kind of contradicting yourself a little bit with your things here. KOC is your coach. So whether you like it or not, and I would like to see, if a win is a win, then when he wins a playoff game next year, then he's the greatest coach of Vikings all time. Right? He gets one playoff win now. I would kind of like to see your theories here hold some water in case he does get a playoff win. So we'll see what happens.
But Bubba, I think you're right though. Going into the season, and I think we could all agree, his seat's going to be on simmer
Oh yeah.
And depending on how the season goes, the players going to turn up.
It's all on say. And Andre, I'm not disagreeing with you here. If this team stumbles out the gate and the offense looks like shit, he is canned, and this is Brian Flores' team. I am not disagreeing with you at all in that scope.
But again, I mean,
that's bringing in a veteran QB who's going to be learning a new system and walking it. Like, I don't know. And I don't think that you go out and mortgage the entire future to get a Burrow. You don't even know if Burrow is available, right?
Yep.
Or a Matt Stafford, or, some of the names that have been kicked around. So I don't really know who's out there and who's going to be available. I think, honestly, what you end up with is a tier 2 veteran who can start in case the JJ, or to push JJ. I think JJ McCarthy is your week 1 starter, barring a Burrow trade, right? That's just where I think it's going. Or, you never know. The kid could get hurt, right? The kid could get hurt in training camp, even though they're not doing there. And come on, you're a young man, Andre. You're only 49, brother. It's all right. We understand. We all want a Super Bowl, right? Before we die. I think that the best path to the Super Bowl right now is letting this coaching staff do what they're going to do this year. And if it shits the bed, then B-Flow is your head coach, maybe before the end of next season, and you ride him out for the next 2 years in that role. I think your next head coach of the Vikings is already on this staff through 2029, whether it's Kevin O'Connell or it's Brian Flores. I think that's kind of what you're being told by their thing here. Hey, that's great, man. Nobody fucking liked Zimmer, right? Like, you are like the only person I feel like that's on the Zimmer train. I don't feel, him and Spielman's relationship being what it was. Not a bad coach. I'm not saying that Zimmer was shit. I'm just saying that people really liked him or his style of ball.
So I'm looking up the coaching history for Minnesota, and, Andre saying that O'Connell's the worst coach possible. But I would say a 63% winning percentage is pretty dang good for a coach, and that is tied for first in Minnesota history. So, Mike Zimmer's at a 400% winning percentage. So, no, I'm sorry, 562.
Yeah, so he's still a good coach, man. And we're talking about different styles of ball. My thing is, Ben, if there was a and hey, I'm not fighting you on this either, Andre. KOC as the play caller really bothers me. And I wish you would have the ego. I wish you would have the lack of ego and the humbleness to say, I need someone in here I trust that can help me call plays, because he gets stuck in that Madden mode going in here. Next thing you know, you're chucking it 50 times, and it's just not good ball. Right. So play caller, head coach, to me, they need to be separated. He was out of the first round of the playoffs last year, or he should have been, you know what I mean? Like, you should have had the bye. Losing to Detroit in that last game of the season, like that was your first round of the playoffs. So hey man, not like I said, my whole thing with your comments, Andre, has been like, he's the worst of all time. I'm not saying he's the greatest of all time either, but I think he's proven he's a pretty damn good football coach. He just struggles to get out of his own way when the pressure is the highest. And then, really put it on Darnold. And that's probably a big reason why Sam Darnold didn't re-sign here this last year. Hey,
do you guys even know who the offensive coordinator is
of this team?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Wes Phillips.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I did know that. So Wes sticking around, but obviously he's not trusting him to call plays on this team.
Yeah, I know.
Which I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, Cody, on your team, that you had a guy calling plays, but you were always on the headset. Right. And maybe you saw something and had input on that. And I don't think KOC is ever going to not have that. My problem is his he has such a problem relinquishing any of it to anyone. right? And to let someone just hand that, and that's not to say that you're not on the headset and you're not following along with everything, but there needs to be some other input in here. And maybe you see that. Maybe he had, a come to Jesus moment because the play calling changed. Right? The play calling on this team changed midway through this season, and then you started winning games. So maybe he's had it. I don't appreciate really. I doesn't, kind of alluding back to Andre that a Tiger doesn't change his stripes. That it really sounded in his postseason press conferences that they really wanted to get back to calling plays the way they were at the beginning of the season, which gives you a little bit of pause. But I mean, it is what it is. That we're going to have to let this thing play out at this point. I don't think it changes. Who's the drunk on the staff? Is that Wes? Is Wes?
Yeah, Wes was suspended. I was just looking that up his back. But yeah, he was suspended 3 games for an altercation or an issue in 2023. So,
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, obviously, Wes is Wes is like in his 60s, isn't he? He's a much older guy.
I think that's
no. Wes is only 46.
Oh wow! So okay,
you're thinking of his dad. You're thinking of his dad.
Okay, yeah, I thought he was an older guy. Okay, so yeah, young guy with an alcohol problem. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hey, man, I don't know. These people. Hey, and this is where I differentiate between like the head coach of Kevin O'Connell and the offensive coordinator, play caller of Kevin O'Connell. Yep. But also, he made adjustments through the season, albeit too little, too late. If he would have made those adjustments maybe one game earlier, maybe like Baltimore game, but that game was just such a shit show because of the penalties as well. There's a couple of games this season where if he had adapted in game, how he adapted mid-season, this Vikings team maybe makes the playoffs and maybe surprises another team. You never know, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's facts. I mean, how many times do we get on this show or the Vikings pregame show and say, hey, this dude's got to make adjustments. He's got to figure out something because what he's doing, it wasn't working. And I swear it was 3 weeks before he actually made that change. That's way too long. Like, way too long.
I don't know if that's his best accomplishment there. I mean, I would say 14-2 is a pretty good accomplishment as a head coach.
Hell yeah, I'll take a 14-2.
Yeah, and I agree with you on.
Oh yeah.
Adjustments. And I think like the worst game of the season for me this. I mean, obviously Seattle was a mess, but you can't. I mean, you had Max Brosper, an undrafted rookie, starting in his first game. Like for me, the worst game was the Green Bay game in Green Bay, where you came out the punt muff on the 2 and then like couldn't recover, right? Like they were running the ball early. They were having success in the first half. The game wasn't by any means out of control. And then it was just like, he just went back to like his default, which is like, well, we got to pass the ball. We're down 10 points. We got to throw the ball, another 30 times.
Just panicked.
And, oh my God, that team just destroyed it.
I think the worst game, and we can't do it, or we can't really blame it being the worst game because of the scheduling, was that Chargers game off the short week, and we were hurting, and
that was bad too.
Yeah, we had nothing to
held together with duct tape at that point.
Yeah, that was honestly probably the worst game.
Andre, well, you keep on praying, buddy, but it's going to be at least like 7-8 months before you might hear that news. That's not happening. I'm just here.
Honestly, right now, the only way that KLC is getting fired between now and week 1 is if something personal comes out that we think is. I mean,
it's not happening. But week 6. And this team has stumbled, then you see it. So you're going to have to let it ride out at this point, man. It is what it is. KOC is picking these players in the draft. You got Brzezinski is going to be hopefully able to work with B-Flow to put together a defense that they can kind of pull off the scrap heap and guys that they can identify through their pro scouting department to kind of piece that together, which B-Flow's been great at doing. You know what I mean? So there is some hope there that the defense can be rebuilt on the fly. I don't know that you put a lot of draft capital over on that side, besides maybe, if there's a top tier cornerback in round one, I think, and we're going to get into our draft coverage over the next couple of weeks. We're going to get through the Super Bowl. So we'll start next week with some draft coverage and going through there, and maybe starting with that side of the ball, Coach, because you're a former DB coach, that we go with your strengths right off the bat. We maybe go DBs and receivers right off the hilt and kind of looking at that side of the ball. And because I think that's a massive need. Obviously, safety, cornerback, you have the biggest needs in there.
Yeah. No, if I'll still say it. I want Jeremiah Love. I don't know if the Saints are going to take him or not, but if they don't, we could probably he'll probably follow us. But
I don't think he's on the board at 18 we're picking.
Yeah, if that don't happen though, we do have to go defensive back, corner or safety. It just has to happen. I'd rather wait till second round and maybe snag a wide receiver if we can first round, but it's just like I said last week. Flores doesn't start rookies. He doesn't really give them a chance. Right. So why waste that?
Well, but he's also never has this team since B-Flow has been here. Have they picked a top tier defensive talent in the first couple of rounds? And just my memory kind of going back quickly that it's always been offensive guys up at the top of the draft. So I don't there. Hey, Andre, no pushback from me on that, man. You've been here. You've been following this team your whole life. Great idea, man.
We never fail.
No,
everybody's got, and that's the one thing with sports in general. Everybody's got their opinions on which way the team should go and who they should get. Andre's definitely passionate about the Vikings, and Cody and myself are. Bubba, you're passionate too about them, and we just all got different views, and
I mean, there is a laundry list of things they could do that we could call dumb and be like, Dre was right? You know what? I look
honestly, I'll bet. Andre,
let's get that button bar ready. Let's get that button bar ready.
Front to you, but just that I hope this team comes out, makes some good moves. I hope they have a draft that we're proud of at the end of the day, top to bottom, 10 picks, whether some of those get packaged for a quarterback or for elsewhere. Let's see. I think you got to take the best player available. I think in that first round, that 18 is such a hard pick, right? Because you don't have the number one player at a lot of premium positions at that level already, right? You are not getting the first, the guy that's number one on your board at that. I don't think they have the capital or the wherewithal to move up to get somebody right now. That's why I was kind of entertaining. We talked about it a little bit, on last week's show, a trade back a couple of spots, maybe to pick up an extra second or third rounder in there. I don't hate that, depending on who's available in that range. It's always tactical, right? But now not having a GM who's kind of in that role, what do those talks look like? Because now you're kind of putting your head coach or a guy who hasn't been developing relationships with other GMs in the league in that position. So we may be just stuck, and you may not see really any trades here because there's no one really that has those relationships built to make it, right? And you don't want to see someone who's inexperienced to do that. So,
well, I mean, he's going to reach out to the Rams to see what they're feeling. I mean, he's going to reach out to the teams that he's got.
Right. Somewhat. KOC doesn't have connections in the league and have some of those relationships still.
Yeah, so he's gonna reach out, but I think if the Vikings are going to move, it's going to be somebody calling them. I don't think they're going to be doing much calling, like you said. The relationships aren't there between GM and GM. But the Vikings do have some players they could move, some draft picks they could move to move up or move down to gain some more capital. So, I think it's fair game.
We talked at length about Jordan Addison and kind of letting him go from this team. I'm sure there's teams that would give you a second, maybe a mid-late second or a third. Hey, man, maybe there's somebody that is, still interested in him. I think,
Andre brings up a good point. There's got to be one voice in the front office, but yet you still got to hear both sides of the argument. I mean, Cody, you could, throw in your opinion, but when you're trying to build a team, I mean, you can't just be like, okay, I'm going all offense this year and F the defense, or I'm going all defense, F the offense. I mean, there's got to be some talk and some agreement on the player and the pick and what they do. I mean, Cody, I mean, it can't be easy to come together with your offense and defense to get the right guys.
I mean, it's tough, because I was going from 11-man outdoor, you got the full roster, then going to arena ball, had to cut that roster down to 30 and then start to figure out, all right, how many can we bring on offense and defense? I'm actually getting ready for another league after this Wyoming Cavalry one gets over with. And we're at the point where we can sign 15 players before the draft. And then we have a draft and then a free agency pool. And so, we're trying to figure out like, hey, what's our main priorities with these first 15? And then from there, that's how we're going to attack the draft. But I
think we need to start getting in Cody's office staff here. I think we need to start being on Cody's office staff or something.
For real, man. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I need more jobs too, Coach.
Yeah, let's get it. You already know.
There we go. Avion Terrell or Mansour Delane, both shut down cornerbacks in the first round.
Then Terrell
on the second, big defensive tackle to stop the run and also get pressure up the middle against the pass. We see. For me, I think the offense needs to get healthy, right? Yeah. The offensive line. I think you can solve. I think you can solve those problems in free agency, though, right? Like, you need a center. I don't think you're drafting and putting a rookie center out there anyway, regardless. So a lot of these issues can be solved. You got a new offensive line coach that's going to be coming in, right? So I think you're rebuilding the line from the free agent class. And trying to do what you can there, maybe elevating. Maybe you got some guys that are in your building already that you're looking to move around, right? A lot of talk about Blake Brandel, possibly in that starting center role. I think he was very serviceable there, I would say. There's so many moves that need to be made just to get under the cap right now first. And I think that, that's going to be the first steps, I would assume, next week, like after the Super Bowl's over, that you are making the necessary cuts and getting in there. And we'll see. At this point, I feel like you had Kwesi, who was obviously the general manager of this team, that nobody really had a lot of faith in, where now it feels like this draft is going to be committee. I don't think that it's AOC's choices alone. I think there's a lot of, they just gave Brian Flores an extension. So I think that they're elevating his voice. Now, I know he didn't get the assistant head coach job, but you elevated another voice and brought in some outside perspective in here to do that. I'm assuming that was a KOC hire, not a Kwesi hire, right? So you have some different voices now and some people that were outside of the organization now coming in that can maybe bring some clarity to it. Because, and Cody, you can maybe speak to this, that like when you're in the fight and you're in the building, it's really hard to sometimes pull away and see that 10,000 foot view or that view from, a different perspective.
Yeah, no, it definitely gets tough, but I mean, he's right. I'm asking for input, but at the end of the day, most of them calls were my calls. And so it just came down to what did my gut tell me, is this player going to fit my scheme better than this one? Stuff like that. Let's see.
If you want to say worst play caller, Dre, I will back you up. And I don't know that he's the worst, but he definitely has flaws as a play caller. Because I think he wants to be the quarterback so damn bad sometimes that he's like, well, this is what I would do. Well, look, motherfucker, Sam Darnold ain't you, and you ain't you. There's a reason that you didn't make it as a player too, right? Like, come on. So,
right.
Play caller, yes, coach, it's different. I like the way that he's able to
and going back to Andre's comment about too many generals or whatever.
There's our guy. What up? There's our guy.
Hey.
What up, Rap?
What's up?
In, brother. Appreciate you, man. We had so much fun last week. I know I can guys. We had a blast having you on. Looking forward to doing it again. Maybe we can get you back in for some draft coverage. And we all owe you an appearance on your show to shout out. Hey, everybody, if you're in the chat, if you don't follow Vocal Vike on YouTube and elsewhere, make sure you do it. Norsevia's in the chat with us now too. What's happening, brother? Happy to have you. Appreciate you tuning in. We kind of covered off the top, obviously Kwesi getting fired. Vike, Rap, you can throw your take on the Kwesi fire, and I know you had to be fired up on that one. We talked about it quite a bit on the show last week.
But going back to Andre's comment about too many generals or what that was, he's got to remember he's been a Vikings fan for 46 years or 49, whatever. Back in the early 90s, the Vikings had they call it the triangle of authority or whatever. It was Dennis Green, the owner, the GM, and there might have been a couple other players, in fact. So I don't think the Vikings are at that point now where we got all these people trying to throw input. I mean, it's going to be the offense coordinator, defense coordinator, head coach, but I mean, you got to remember, yes, the more people that are in charge of making calls, it is going to be a hectic situation, but I think we're in a good thing right now where we know that it seems like KLC's got the final say. He's going to listen to his coaching staff. He's going to listen to the scouts. So it's all on him. I mean, we've said it over and over again. So
yeah, well, and I think that him and B-Flow have a really good relationship. Obviously, you don't continue to work together and to build teams the way that you have. I mean, he definitely lets Flo kind of handle the defense. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you don't have a lot of complaints on that side of the ball since Flo has been around. So you think that they have a respect level there. And what it sounds like, especially coming out after the Kwesi firing, is that a lot of these football guys didn't respect Kwesi because he wasn't a maniac like they are about the game. And when you have that, then it makes it hard to kind of build a solid foundation for when shit goes wrong. And that's why Kwesi was the one that was shown the door, because obviously the Wilfs as an ownership group have a lot of faith in their coaching staff to do that. And I think that I don't think KOC's coming in and going, it's my guys or nothing. I think it's going to be a lot more of a little bit more by committee here. And maybe, maybe he can let the ego go on this side of the ball where he's not calling the plays, right? They're not drafting a quarterback. So that kind of takes him out of the position of highest authority. Quarterbacks is what he knows the best, the QB guru, right? Now you're kind of having to defer, I think, a little bit to the Brian Flores and the rest of this coaching or the scouting staff, which who knows how the structure is and how much they're talking during the season and in the off season leading up to this. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know that now, things are starting to come out about Kwesi, but we don't know what their structure is like behind closed doors in that front office. And this draft is going to be very telling about where they go.
Well, and the same thing is like we talk about trading players. Well, why don't they just get rid of this guy? Get rid of this guy, rebuild the team. When the team's struggling, it's always easy to get rid of one player, which is typically the coach, over the whole team. And I would say it's the same thing in the front office. Easier to get rid of one guy, the GM, instead of trying to get rid of the whole coaching staff and keep your GM. So,
Yeah, the GM hire after the draft is going to be a really cool thing to follow. Obviously, we're going to be talking a lot.
I don't think we can get a GM until the end of next year.
Really? You think they roll with it as this until
there's nobody there's no standout guys. I mean, unless somebody stands out from one of the Super Bowl teams, but I have a feeling that the Vikings are not going to have a per se GM until Cody gets accepted the job, or we find somebody at the end of the next year's off season or at the end of next year. So
yeah, look at Andy Reid on the sidelines watching the playoffs from his fucking couch this year because his team is not good, and I think they're going to struggle maybe for a couple of years. Man, paying that quarterback position $50 million a year, right? That's like 20% of the cap, right? That's a lot. And then you had a lot of other Super Bowl winners on there as well. But yeah, he's got the rings now to back it up too. So I mean,
well, there's another guy that I actually heard on PH's show today, Mike Holmgren. I think he would be a pretty decent GM if he just focuses on that guy, on that part. I mean, I could be wrong.
See, and I think it's not coming from someone that's in the league now. I think they are probably talking. The Wolves have been around as an ownership, as owners for a long time. They got a lot of connections. You have to think that they have a short list in their head already. They're not just like, we'll figure it out. There's people they're already having covered. People are putting their resume in. To me, this is
Cody probably already put 3 in already. I mean.
Yeah, you mentioned PA. I think that's a good transition that we can kind of talk about. Obviously we haven't covered, the comments that he made and the fallout from that, which now we know is really nothing. A few days off work to let things cool down. This is pretty much exactly what I told you was going to happen when you kind of threw it to me. Let it cool down, let people simmer, and then he's going to be back. There's this because honestly, he's beloved. And I don't think one set of comments, and the guy's been making offhand comments his whole career. So it's not like it was that surprising.
I think a bigger
Andy Reid, just addressing Dre's comment here, like Andy Reid had been coaching for 20 years at that point. You know what I mean? Like before he got that first one, had been in the game for a long time before he finally cracked through. They don't come easy. They struck gold with the Mahomes and the way that he structured that team. That team was ready for a young guy to step in that kind of had the moxie that Mahomes does. But, Andy Reid's real test as a head coach now comes over the next 5 years. And who knows if he sticks around for that long or if he says, you know what, I've had my time. It's time to let, somebody else go and kind of go out on top still. Because I don't think he gets fired. I think he walks away on his own terms. I think. Well, I mean, I'm not arguing.
I'm not arguing that.
No, I'm not either. But with PA, I think the comments. I mean, I don't think we're earth shattering, but I think it would have came down to it. The Vikings would have went to K-Fan and said, "Hey, we're gonna let PA go. You guys gotta let PA go, or we're gonna take our sponsorship elsewhere." So I think it came down to, I think maybe Minnesota or the Vikings saying, "Hey, we're not letting them go, so there's no reason for you guys to let him go. He's still our guy." So
he is literally the voice of the Vikings. I think that you have to take men like that with a grain of salt. Also kind of reading the room. Sure, there was some outrage shortly, but I think a lot of the silent majority, if you will, that there's a lot of fans that don't align politically with the people that were being loud either in the fan base, right? A lot of this Viking fan base is a lot more red, even though the city of Minneapolis might be very blue. So I think there's also the recognition of that. And a lot of people that are listening to the games are listening from out of the city. And a lot of people that are coming in for these games don't live in the city of Minneapolis, right? They don't live in Minneapolis, St. Paul. So I think there's from the ownership group and from the front office realizing those things.
Yeah, I think it was smart to keep them, smart the way they played it. It would have been absolutely stupid had they let him go. That's all I'm going to say.
He would honestly have to run over someone in his car. You know what I mean? And he would have to do something pretty.
Well, and that's the whole thing is, maybe K-Fan would have let them go if they didn't have if it was just a different DJ that said this. But I think with him being the voice of the Vikings, they're kind of waiting to see what the Vikings were going to do with the comments.
Right. And then K-Fan wasn't going to let him go unless the Vikings were like, we ain't bringing this motherfucker back.
Right. You don't just let him walk.
I like Dre here. Big B, you got to teach them Vikings history. Well, maybe that's a new segment as we move. It's a long off season, Dre. So maybe we bring you on the show. We go through some things and, we address that. Dre says, I'm putting this all on you, Big B. So we got to have some history lessons here. I could be educated. I'm not lying, man. I haven't followed this team my whole life. I didn't live in the area and really only got introduced to watching the team over the last 7 years as my wife's a fan. And I've obviously watched NFC North football. My family's from the Chicago area. I grew up watching the Bears and rooting, for that Bears team. So I've seen a lot of this like young quarterback thing. And that's what attracted me to, rooting for the Vikings and kind of letting that Bears fandom go. Of course, they fucking go well this year and, make it to the second round of the playoffs. That's just you're welcome, city of Chicago, for that. But it doesn't make me any less
it might be the coach above, or it might be the curse of Bubba. Maybe we just need to push Bubba to the side now and then the Vikings
out on the cold, man. It might be it. I don't think so. I think this
PA, almost untouchable, literally.
Yeah, bro. I can't disagree with you, Mike. Like,
and I mean,
have to literally put someone in the hospital, right?
Wasn't he working doing the show? And it was just ill-willed, ill-timed.
It was ill-timed because the thing happened just shortly after that.
Think of all the stupid shit that I say on this show 2 hours a week, man. The guy's on air fucking 30 hours a week.
And I think what might have been the saving grace is Greenwood, I think was he was chatting with is just like, yeah, I'm not going to touch that one. Let's move on, type of thing. So
after, come on, man. They're like not great timing on the, thing, but he comes back. He says, I'm sorry. And it's all good. Chance, thanks for chiming in.
Hey, what up, Chance?
Do you guys think they trade Jordan Addison or Jonathan Grenard this offseason to get more draft capital, more players come in and contribute day one? Mac Jones, if KOC wants him. Yeah, I mean, I think everything's on the table. Now, Grenard for Mac Jones. Now, we've been throwing out a lot of second-round picks there, but Grenard for Mac Jones might be something that San Francisco might be interested in, especially with Fred Warner suffering the injury last year and kind of probably going to be a little bit different player. And they need a little help on that defense regardless. Now, I know he would be a little bit out of position because I'm pretty sure that they play a 4-3 in San Francisco, but Jonathan Grenard's a talent that you could put him anywhere on the field, man. That would be dangerous. But I don't know. The Grenard thing is a touchy one because I think you can get cap compliant with some of the other moves. Addison, I would like to see gone. It feels to me like KOC's kind of done with him. Just because the look on his face when he was at the presser and he's always having to answer questions about this guy and his off the field issues that I feel like he's kind of would take a suitor for that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, right now
I would not be able to put up with that.
Yeah, see, and I missed the Peyton days. I was born in '86, so I didn't get to celebrate any good Bears.
Oh my God!
I did get to live through the '90s with Jordan. Still root for the other Chicago teams. I don't follow. Maybe the Blackhawks is the one that I followed the most adamantly. As far as Chicago and the Cubs, I guess.
See, I got the Wizards, Jordan.
Yeah.
See, the thing is
here on the PA only mentioned truth in passing. See, and that was my thing. It just, and that to me, that's the Vikings organization reading the room on their fan base, right? Like I said, Minneapolis may be a blue city and you have all the things happening in there now, but a lot of the noise is coming from outside of the Vikings fandom. It's coming from outside in that political sphere, not necessarily inside of the football field. So, that's something.
And some people just got mad just to find something to get mad about and hop on the train just because you're mad too. I'm gonna join you type shit.
You know what's crazy about you mentioned that Devin Hester, man, I was out on the West Coast fucking hitting rave parties and I wasn't even paying attention to football. We were so bad for so long. The Bears were the third or fourth team in my career, right? I loved the hockey team. And I had moved to South Dakota in 96. So I kind of missed the back half of the three-peat in the Bulls even. So we've lived in South Dakota. We didn't get all the Bears games. It's just that was the team you grew up and all your family rooted for.
Kick return in the Super Bowl. That was your peak.
Terrible. They were fucking awful, man. So what do you do? So
Rex Grossman got to the
San
Super
Francisco
Bowl
game last year that I watched him just lay down, and all the fan base out there was all against. It was so torn on the Caleb Williams talk, which I think he proved a little bit this year. I still think he has plenty of flaws as a quarterback, but that's kind of going through that and just how toxic that fan base was, where I was just like, I can't do this. Now coming over to the Vikings fan base, and for me, I love the super fan group. I love the Viking World Order. They've kind of accepted us with open arms. Great people. I saw what they were doing in the community. I'm too fucking old to be like putting all of my life into it. I'm too busy, right? Like my whole life doesn't revolve around any one team or anything. I saw an opening to cover this team. I was watching all the games with my wife anyway. So that's kind of where I was coming from. I was rooting for the Vikings, except for maybe 2 games a year. And even in those, I was like secretly like, I hope they kick the shit out of the Bears. So it didn't change that much for me rooting for this team. Now, I will say that I was a lot happier because I don't have that deep emotional attachment. And I definitely come from an area where like Dre is obviously he's been rooting for this same team. They've been abusing him for so long, right? That you have that emotional attack. Like I don't have that with the Vikings, but I no longer have that with the Bears either. Now I didn't get to ride that high with them this year as they're going through and making the playoffs and stuff, but I'm okay with that. Like I celebrate my own wins. Mostly I'm in music, Dre. I have the Scene Project. Sports Network is just a division of the Scene Project's podcast network, which is mainly focused on entertainment, mostly on independent musicians. Like I'm off celebrating my own wins in my own organization, kind of give a shit what these teams do besides it being content for our channel. So, it kind of sucked, right? It is what it is. Live and die football. That's right, brother. Hey, I appreciate your takes in here too, Dre.
Honestly,
being in the show, hanging out with us, man. Like it means,
and this is what we wanted. We wanted a place for everyone to come,
and to be a space where you can kind of voice your opinions. And we're always going to put them up, man. Regardless of how I feel about your takes, we're going to put them up there. You give us a lot of great talking points. We can agree to disagree. It's all good, man.
That's all sports is agree to disagree.
Grenard needs to shut up and quit missing tackles. I'm kind of the same thing on Van Ginkel too. Like, these guys may make these huge splashy plays, but they don't necessarily show up and make the little plays throughout the
little
too.
things.
So, would like to see more. Now, I'm super impressed with young man this year showing up, defensive end. His name's evading me right now. Who's
Turner?
Second year? No, second year defensive end this year. After Grenard got hurt, he started getting my brain's fried. I got
come on, Big B.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I was thinking Turner off the bat.
I was thinking Turner too.
Let's see. Defensive end. Not Hargrove, not Dallas.
Dallas Turner.
Yeah, Dallas Turner. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, my stupid brain was thinking Daniil Hunter, and I was like, I know that's not right. That's the name. But Dallas Turner, I thought, showed up, played in that role. And Beefo is such he's so maniacal that this hybrid defense. Is he only playing that hybrid defense because he had to, because of the talent that he was given? Would he be more into playing guys in a traditional role, having more 4-down lineman looks? It just, it's going to be interesting to see where this team goes now, because I feel like the draft especially is now going and to a certain extent now, the free agent class as well is going to kind of be done by committee. Brzezinski's not coming in here and saying it's fucking my way or the highway. He's like, look, fellas, what can I do for you? What can we do in here? So we're going to see. Hey, Morspius, brother, thank you for your service, man. You see Operation side behind
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
PWO does a lot with veterans. Pillars of Valor, shout out to them. Sponsor of the show. We probably need to run their ad at some point too.
Yeah.
Maybe we do that, and then we come back and we just talk Super Bowl and kind of go through our picks for the game and everything, and we got plenty to cover in the back half of the show there. So we're going to hit a quick little commercial break. We're going to shout out our people with Pillars of Valor, and we're going to come back with some more Super Bowl talk. As we cheer on our Minnesota Vikings, let's also recognize true heroes. Pillars of Valor Coffee isn't just about exceptional taste. It's a veteran-owned company with a powerful mission. With every purchase, you're directly contributing to programs that empower and support veterans and first responders. Imagine starting your day with a rich, bold coffee that also fuels a vital cause. Pillars of Valor Coffee is dedicated to making a tangible impact, honoring those who've served our nation and communities. Join them in their mission. Visit pillarsofvalor.com to learn more and get your bag today. Pillars of Valor Coffee. Great coffee, greater purpose. Oh, yeah. Big shout out to Pillars of Valor Coffee. Go to pillarsofvalor.com. Get you a cup. That's what I'm sipping on tonight, because if I wasn't, I'd probably be asleep already. Fucking kitten woke up at like 1:30 last night. Wouldn't go back to bed. After I fed him, I couldn't get back to bed. Like, damn, man. Was up for 2 hours in the middle of the night. And then I think I finally went back like 4, slept from 4 to 6.
Maybe you need to send that kitten over to Cody so the cat can just follow Cody around all day.
No way. I'm allergic. I am allergic.
Oh.
Dre says he's blaming B for not teaching us the Vikings way. We piss in the bed every year.
Hey, I'll do some homework. I'll get some Viking history up there each week. I mean, if that's the thing that we need, then let's go with it.
Yeah, you know what? Some Vikings history facts I'm down with. Dre also says he's all in on Arch Manning. B, what do we got? We'll hit on like a little bit of Arch Manning talk. Now, he's not coming out in the draft this year, right? That's going to be next year?
Possibly next year. Of course, his dad or his granddad played here for a short time. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, if JJ comes out balls out this year, we're not talking quarterback next year. Plain and simple.
Right.
You know, so now if he doesn't, then we're talking, you know, what do we do with the quarterback? But I honestly, knock on wood, I wasn't so impressed with year one of Arch Manning. I think it was a lot of hype, but, you know, everybody can improve each day. I mean, he did play better towards the end of this year. But definitely a guy to watch for next year.
They might be up at the top of that draft too. With
oh my God, if they end up with a quarterback and they can stash him away for another 3 years under Love, and then he's the next starter for the next 6, you know. And that's one thing I've talked about this on Coast to Coast, and we talked about it. The Packers had the best way to develop a quarterback. They stash him away for a few years, let the veteran play, and then when it's their time, it's their time. I mean, everybody talks about, well, you're wasting his rookie years. Well, technically, yeah, but again, we're developing this guy.
Get him cheaper on that second deal because you haven't let him go out and ball out and maybe have a little bit of fool's gold out there, and then end up paying a guy big money. And you know,
how many teams could say that they went from Brett Favre 1992 to Jordan Love or to Rodgers and then to Jordan Love as their main starting quarterbacks? 3 starting quarterbacks since 92, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think I've listened to the Bears shows in years past, and the Bears had like 65 quarterbacks in that time.
Yeah.
Oh, just crazy, man.
Right, but not like the Browns, though.
So, I mean, the Vikings kind of got a starting quarterback in the Super Bowl, right? I mean, Sammy D balling out has obviously had a great season. Seattle's had an awesome season this year. I mean, they look dominant to me. I don't know what the betting lines are coming out at. I'm assuming Seattle's favored.
Oh, yeah, I think they're favored by not by much, though.
Dude, you're so dark, man. Just already punting on 2026 and tear it down.
4.5. Seattle's favored by 4.5. And just in case if anybody's listening that wants to know the score of the Pro Bowl, 52-52, end of the third.
Oh, I can't believe we scheduled a show over top of the Pro Bowl. Silly us.
I would have probably watched PayDry over the Pro Bowl right now. So
yeah, facts.
I'd rather watch Cody's videos of him working at his jobs over the Pro Bowl.
Hey, sometimes they get pretty interesting.
I bet.
No, well, you're right. And Mendoza, here, yeah, I'll put up the one where everything was spelled right. Yeah, well, and we'll see. Now, are they kind of forecasting Mendoza as the clear number one?
Right now, he's 99.9% the clear number one pick for the
number one overall this year. I haven't even looked at draft coverage, man. I've been so up to ass planning this.
Everybody right now is picking the Raiders to take Mendoza number one.
Yeah, well, I mean, they need a quarterback, so
they need everything.
Yeah, well, they're the Raiders. I've been hearing a lot of Max Crosby could be leaving talk, but I think anybody would be happy to add a Max Crosby to your team.
Well, Max Crosby for Jordan Addison and a 6th-round pick. I mean,
all about it, man. That'd be freaking.
I'd be all in.
That dude's an animal.
All in.
That dude's an absolute freaking animal. He would be. We're not getting too far down the dream hole there. Like that shit ain't happening. But we might get a 2nd-round pick out of him for Jordan Addison. That would be awesome.
I bet you we get like a mid-round pick for Addison.
I know we keep talking like they're going to do something smart, and Dre's telling us that's not the Viking way. Hey, we're hoping for change, right?
I mean, that's all we're looking for is improvement and change. We got to let the history behind us go. I mean, we learn from history.
Much, Dre. You got to let it go. It's a new era. But that's also what he's saying, too, is tear it down and let's just restart the whole thing. But
how many times are we going to do that?
Yeah, how many times? I mean, because after 2 years of that, it's going to be the same thing. Tear it down.
Exactly. I mean, okay, so we made it, what, 2018 to the title game, right? With Case Keenum. And then we brought in Kirk Cousins. Then they're like, oh, we need a young quarterback. We've drafted – 3 quarterbacks that haven't panned out, because they haven't given them time. We got JJ now. He's the starter. Everybody says that. Let's give him time. And one, I think we could all agree on, you got to make sure the offensive line is a top 15 offensive line and healthy to keep your quarterback up there. It doesn't matter who's going to be back there if your offensive line can't block.
Yeah, Steve, and I don't know how long you've been hanging out with us tonight, but it definitely feels like what I feel like is going to happen is it'll kind of be by committee. With Flo and KOC, obviously KOC having the final say over it, but I don't think that KOC operates in I am making all the calls and everybody can just deal with it way. I think that this is going to be taking input from a lot of different voices, which maybe they didn't have with Kwesi, right? So, it kind of plays out. Now, they've already said that they're not going to make a decision on the GM until after the draft. B, you'd kind of mentioned that maybe they go the whole season without a GM. I don't think that's possible.
I don't think it's possible, but, I mean, again, right now there's no names being thrown out there that who could be, the front runner, who could be the candidate. Maybe they're not interviewing, but a lot of the experts I've been listening to and reading about, there's nobody that they're like, oh, this would be a good fit for Minnesota to go after this guy. And, so, I mean, it wouldn't shock me, Vikings way, that they wait until towards the end of the season to name a GM, but we'll see. The deal in Green Bay, who knows how to do.
Yeah, they know how to develop them.
Well, they have the patience.
I'm not going to argue that.
They have the patience.
We're all with you.
Just let that young guy and to not be reactive to what's out there. You've also had Hall of Famers at quarterback for
but that's what I'm saying is who would have thought Brett Favre was a Hall of Fame quarterback? He goes to Green Bay, he develops into that. They let Rodgers sit behind him for a year. Rodgers, may not be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he'll be in the Hall of Fame. Jordan Love, again, if he doesn't win the ring, maybe that keeps him out of the Hall of Fame. But he's been there, for the years, so they know how to develop quarterbacks.
Right, and Dre, I definitely. So what I think
they've already said that
you were leaning towards firing Kwesi. You should have fired him right after the season, or even in the season. Yep. That's kind of where But at this point, who the hell are you going to hire? You're going to hire someone that's still going to be fucking meeting people for the first time before the draft.
And I think the Vikings,
staff, your entire scouting staff to bring them in, I think you just put yourself in a really tough spot. So yeah,
and I think the Wolves said that at the firing announcement.
Not firing him until now, more than like not hiring someone until after the draft.
Yeah, and I think the Wolves stated that they weren't going to hire a GM until after the draft. Yeah, Sean Mannion, new offensive coordinator in Philly. Yeah, that's former Viking quarterback.
Are you serious?
Sean Mannion, yeah. Yeah, he's former Viking QB.
Phil Donahue, official. Thank you. Appreciate you tuning in, Phil. Oh, well, and you know what? This year we had a chance, man. I mean, you beat Green Bay in Green Bay, which is a game that I kind of look at that you could have you just let Micah Parsons just fucking run all over you in the second half, man. And you had no answer there. You refused to run the ball and you let the man just dominate you.
Wow. Or we stop a kick return from almost
the Bears game, right? Yeah, they're just yeah, it is what it is. They should have fired Quasi and KOC. We got you, Dre. We understand, man.
And honestly, and typically when the GM gets fired, the coach does go too. I mean, because normally they're 1A and 1B, but for some reason, there's stuff in the locker room we don't know what happened. So
Mannion straight guard. Well, then he's in the right city now.
Well, and like I said earlier, I mean, like my sources are telling me that Quasi wasn't trusted and that people just didn't trust his level of experience. They were saying, they're just people saying that he was literally learning on the job. But at least with KOC and B-Flow, and Rob Brzezinski, they've been in those rooms during drafts with Quasi. They've heard those conversations. They've been in the pre-draft process talking to GMs. They got a little bit of rapport with some GMs at least. Like, we're not going in completely shit out of luck.
Right. And this year you don't. I think in drafts where you maybe only have a few picks, you got to be a little more tactile in how you're operating. You got 10 picks this year.
Yeah.
You're kind of holding a lot of cards moving forward, but you also have a lot of holes. And you have a lot of things that need to be dealt with. And to me, I think it's going to play out with Brzezinski kind of taking care of the free agent, not really having a lot of say in the draft process, handling the cap situation, getting you. I mean, they got to get cap compliant first, right? Like there's cuts that need to be made and contracts that need to be, either renegotiated or whatever before you even get to April, right? So
that's another thing that we can go over is who do we think is going to be getting cut and let go, so.
Yeah,
especially now. I think it's harder than ever to get into the Hall of Fame. Fucking Bill Belichick can't.
Well, I was just gonna say, Bill.
Well, okay. The thing is, with the players get passed over as Hall of Fame players. I mean, how many players go into the draft? Oh, they're a can't miss player. They're going to be this. They're going to turn over a franchise, and they turn out to be, dog crap. And then yet you got these guys that are late round draft picks, not drafted, turning out to be a better Hall of Fame player than the guy they drafted. So
I will tell you this, Bill Donahue, if the fucking Timberwolves get Giannis, we are covering every single pregame, postgame. Like, we are turning this into a.
Oh, don't get Cody started. Don't get Cody started, because I accepted that too, and Cody wasn't too happy with me on that.
But also, like,
what are they saying they would have to give up? I mean, you would have to get rid. I mean, they would be giving up a lot to get Giannis.
If that's
the whole thing. It all depends on who you give up and what you give up.
Exactly.
I don't want to give up Nas Reed. I mean, I think him and Ant to me are like two of the people I don't want to get rid of.
Yeah,
I mean,
it would have to be putting Giannis with Ant and Nas Reed that made you like, this is your big three now. Yep. But you literally we'll give you the rest of the team.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have much draft capital. They don't, so it would have to be something to get a third or fourth team involved with that trade. And it's just like the Burrow thing. I wouldn't mind Burrow, but I don't want to give up too much to get Burrow. So I mean, that's the whole thing is how much you got to get them up.
Real quick with this Giannis situation, he's not worth 2 first rounds. He's maybe worth a first and a second, and that's it. Maybe a third, second. That's it. End of story.
I think it would be one of those where I would offer like a couple firsts or a couple seconds, with one of them being a conditional first, depending on how the Timberwolves do and how long he plays with us.
Okay,
something like that. And a couple players. I mean, but again, also NBA's got that weird trade clause where the salary caps have to match a certain percent of each one. So it's not just they got to have some money on both sides of the ball. But
Mike J says you're tripping, Cody.
I knew I'd ruffle some people with that.
Pull us back in talking about that 3rd and 1 tight end sneak. Yeah, that was one moment where I was definitely on the fire KOC train. Get this fucking guy out of here, man. I can't watch that.
Giannis is a poor man's Ben Wallace.
Oh, get out.
Ooh.
Stop that.
Poor man Ben Wallace. I mean, I'm not much of a basketball guy, but
bro, Ben Wallace.
You don't win 2 MVPs being a poor man Ben Wallace. I mean,
all right. Hey, I mean, I did run that team overseas for a little bit, but
you got basketball teams too. Damn, man.
Yeah, the one over in Thailand.
Taking shots. Damn.
I'm catching strays over here.
Don't necessarily have to know ball to play ball or to coach it either. So come on now. KOC you say is the worst coach in history, but he's still got a job. Yeah, I love it. We got the best fans in the world, man. Y'all are funny. Stop taking shots at Coach Cody, man.
Facts.
We're gonna take him off the show. Calm down, Mike James. Calm down. We all got our opinions.
Damn, Mike James. Damn. That's how you real feel, man.
How about you? Dre, I can't say that. Coach Cody's our ace in the hole for football analysis, so I can't even put that up on the screen. Let's talk a little Super Bowl. We've kind of glossed over it a few times. Obviously, we got the Seahawks and the Patriots. Seahawks favored by 4.5. You said, right, B?
Yep.
4.5.
I think that's probably right where the line should be. After watching the Patriots play against the Broncos and just couldn't really get much going offensively there, I think they're really going to struggle against the Seahawks D. So I'm definitely picking the Seahawks to win here. I know that's going to hurt a lot of people in Vikings fandom. Me, I'm on the, hey, look, things happen behind closed doors that we don't know. Did Kwesi drop the ball with Sam Darnold? I don't know that Sam wanted to stick around, right? I think, his camp is hearing what's coming out and people kind of putting it all on Sam Darnold and maybe them looking back and going, look, man, this guy can't call a fucking game to save his life. And who knows the internal conversations that his team is having. So I don't know that Sam was ever going to necessarily come back to the Vikings playing as well as he did last season. There were offers on the table and he kind of had the pick of the litter. And obviously the man chose right because he's playing in the damn Super Bowl now. Does that say that, Sam's now going to be a future Hall of Famer to let some things slip past my lips, as Norspius was saying? No, I think Sam is who he is, serviceable. And can he show up in the big moment? We're still going to see here. Mike James says, not the strays you made your bet.
Hey, man. He might be a little bit better, maybe like a poor man's Amari Stoudemire or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, a little bit better.
Yeah, I love it. We're gonna have to start covering ball, man. Everybody's getting
excited. We can switch to it.
Dre says, "I'll teach you this sports stuff." I think Cody's doing quite all right. Cody, we talked a little bit about it off series. I think. Oh, let's get your guys' picks for the Super Bowl. Is everybody picking Seahawks? Anybody got the Patriots?
No, I got Seahawks.
Yeah, I've been tossing and turning. I'm going to go Seahawks. I want a good game. I want a good defensive battle. I'm not up for the big blowout, even though sometimes those big plays are very nice. I'm going to throw out the old cliche, though, that I think the team with the most turnovers that can capitalize over them and is going to win the game. So both defenses are good. Both offenses are, okay. I think Donald's probably got the better offense.
Patriots. Mike James says Darnold blow-up game is due. What I think is different
Man,
now
that's Mike James. I'm with you on that.
Well, I feel like this Seahawks team is kind of built to.
Is he talking about blow up in a good blow up or blow up in a bad blow up? I mean, that's the whole thing.
I think he's talking blue screen of death, Sam. But I feel like the Seahawks team is built to kind of like insulate the quarterback from that happening. They have some creative ways, and especially with the way that they were using JSN in their last game, I mean, putting him in the backfield, but then finding ways to get him the ball. For that, now you put a lot of shit on tape for this Patriots team to have 2 weeks to prepare for some of that stuff. It'll be, I mean, if Darnold is serviceable, I think they win. They're going to run the ball.
They got to run the ball. K9.
Well, and the one thing I noticed or I've seen and heard that the team's talked about is the defense is there to back up the offense. The offense makes a play, the defense knows they have to pick it up. And vice versa. If the defensive makes a mistake, then the offense knows they got to take control and get that back. So, I mean, they're all in it. They're all drinking the same Seattle juice over there, going to the same fish markets and stuff like that. So they're all on it.
Right this week that Kubiak, is he already hired as a head coach?
Yep. Kirk Kubiak is hired. I want to say the Raiders. I think he went to.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of crazy to accept the job before you've left the other one and to kind of know you're coaching in your last game. That's kind of interesting. Nice. Hey, Dre, we appreciate having you, man. Always a pleasure. Appreciate your takes, man. I hope you tune in every Tuesday with us. We're gonna get a nice little Big B's Vikings history. We're going to dive into the archives with you, man, and it's going to be a great time. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Have a good night, brother. God bless you as well. Hey, how did the Browns Pro Bowl quarterback do in the big game? I'd like to.
They don't do the stats for that, but I thought he tried to throw the chase and bounced off his hands for a pick or something like that. But Winfield Jr., that's a guy I wish the Vikings would have tried to get.
Facts.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting thing. So everybody picking the Seahawks here. Just
if the Seahawks,
I think they look dominant, man. They just look dominant. I mean, we obviously watched them in the season, shut out the Vikings in that game. You know, they didn't look like world beaters in that game necessarily. I think the Vikings defense really showed up against them, but they still put up 28 points, right? Like they still had to put up a bunch of points on a Vikings defense that didn't give up a lot of points during the season, even not being, a playoff team, although just kind of being on the outside of that. Watching them beat up on the 49ers was an eye-opener to me where I was like, damn, that team could win a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
I
think that opened up a lot of eyes for a lot of people.
Well, because it was a game that could have decided a lot of stuff, right? Like it was still, that was kind of a playoff game at the end of the season, and to come out and do what they did to them was like, okay, this team's for real, and they're believing. And I think there's a lot to be said, and maybe Cody, you can speak to this from the player coach perspective, that when you're rolling with confidence and there's not a lot of question marks in your head, that you play differently as a unit, and to come out in their first play in the playoffs this year was a freaking 90-some yard touchdown return, right? Like first time you touch a ball, you're feeling like, the football gods are smiling down on you at that point.
Yeah. I mean, when you're feeling it and things are just rolling, and you get that confidence, you get that momentum, it honestly feels like you're just on cloud nine. Everything seems to work out in your favor, especially with that kick return. But it's a whole different type of feeling when you start to believe. At the beginning of the season, everyone's got their, we're going to the Super Bowl, and then as the season goes on, you're like, oh shit, I'm like, this might be a thing, and then you get through the playoffs, and you're like, damn, like, we're untouchable. Like, someone asked me how I'm feeling, I'm like, unstoppable. That's the type of feeling that you get.
Yeah, I think the weather played a big factor in that game up in New England.
That and the quarterback.
And he just played so poorly. What do you have? 5 turnovers, 5 points in that game.
So, Coach, you probably have more experience in championship preparation than me and Bubba do on Madden. So what's the team's aspect? I mean, going into, granted there's a 2-week spread here between their last game, but as the game is getting closer, what's your aspect of your team? I mean, what's going through the mindset as you guys are preparing to step on the field one last time for everything?
Right. Well, I mean, leading up to the Super Bowl or to the big game like that, a championship game, you're still riding that high from the last game, but then, deep down, you gotta just throw that to the side and get ready for the next one. And you try to do that as quickly as you can. That way you can get locked in as quickly as you can. And then it's just, you get so locked in that the last week, it just nothing else matters, and you're just so focused on winning and like handling the job, playing for your family, because your team is your family. So everything is amped up, your preparation, your the practices, everything is just you want to go out and ball out for your team one more time and make sure that you come out on top. So everything is just kicked up a notch.
Well, and this is such a different game. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, go ahead.
Super Bowl is such a spectacle and really unlike any other game. The media attention and all of that. Now, I know it's hard to say because we've never been there, although bucket list, I think as a trio, I would love to go and experience all of that with you guys. And regardless of who's playing, I think it would be wonderful to experience. But do you think that neither one of these teams really having, as they're constructed now, having that experience? Now you have Mike Vrabel head coaching on the Patriots side, who's been to a lot of these, right? Let's be honest, a man that knows what to expect and maybe can prepare his team a little bit better than the Seahawks. Do you think that gives a little bit of maybe a tactical advantage just in the preparation of the leading up to the week and the media attention and being able to give them a little bit of a, kind of a crash course in it before they get there? Or do you think that it really doesn't matter? These guys are professionals and it's not really going to have an effect either way.
It definitely plays a big part into it. You've been there, especially Mike Vrabel, just being to so many Super Bowls, you know what to expect. You know how it's laid out, how it's planned out, media day and all that stuff. I mean, for some of these players, especially rookies, second-year players, it can be a lot. It can be a lot, and it's just being a guy that's been there. You can kind of prepare your players like, hey, this is how it's going to go down the day 1, 2, and 3, and just lead them into it instead of going in blind and kind of, kind of shell shocked, Yeah,
I think both teams are gonna lead on a lot of veteran people that have been to the game, even maybe you didn't win it, but they're going to reach out to, Seattle's probably going to reach out to some of their former players to come in and talk to the team. Of course, the Patriots got on that experience. Vrabel is on the verge of being the first coach to win the Super Bowl as a player and a coach with the same team,
That's pretty crazy.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough
And,
right there.
I think we can. I think there's a lot more that has to happen besides the similarities of them being in the same uniform and winning for the same team that Drake May does. We can pump the brakes on the Tom Brady comparisons. Maybe if he wins 2, we can start to kind of go there. And
I don't like the comparisons to a young person a couple years into it.
Man. I mean, Brady was a 5th-round guy. Drake May was still a 1st-round quarterback. There's higher expectations that come around with that anyway.
And the thing is the what ifs play. What if Drew Bledsoe doesn't get hurt? Do we know who Brady is? I mean, we're talking a whole different history. So,
Yeah, man. Wow, man. It's going to
Super
be
Bowl
a great
MVP
game.
prediction.
So, Coach, B, are you doing a Super Bowl party? I know you'd mentioned your buddy was maybe doing some stuff.
I don't know if we're going to do a watch along. I don't know. I haven't heard nothing lately.
6th-round pick.
But we'll see. I mean, if there's a podcast that wants to do a party and needs some people to talk about it, I'm all in. So I know I work until 2, so I'll get home, grab something to eat, get ready to sit down and watch the game. But Cody mentioned Super Bowl MVP predictions. I think the favorite is Sam Darnold to win it. So I guess if Seattle wins and he balls out, unless he's throwing everything to JSN. I mean, unless JSN has like 3 touchdowns.
That, I was just thinking that it'd be like maybe JSN could win it, but
if JSN has more touchdowns,
Sam Darnold's throwing in the ball, so it's like they're kind of tied together.
Well, but Sam Darnold can ball out a different way. JSN, has four catches, $150 and 3 touchdowns, where Sam Darnold has 4 touchdowns, 350 yards.
Yeah, but also
it's going to be an offensive. It's going to be an offensive player, but if Seattle
did to detract,
it's going to be one of the quarterbacks that the winning team's quarterback is going to be the one that's probably going to get the MVP. So
I left this one up here from Mike James. Thoughts on Tom Brady saying he has no dog in this fight. Lame to not hear an all-time great not support the team. I know Vikes legends would be hyped for this team. The fact of the matter is they let Tom go and kept Bill. So, I mean, I think there's some animosity. And obviously, him making these statements kind of speak to that a little bit. And then him going and kind of rubbing their nose in it, winning one with the Bucks is something there.
Well,
too.
you got to understand, though, Tom Brady's, announcer / part owner of the Raiders. So does he really want to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to go with my old team? And
is that different, though, if he just finishes it out, they let Belichick go, and he finishes his career out as a Patriot? Is that that's kind of, revisionist history, obviously, there. But is it different? I feel like there's some that felt like a little tension.
If he stays with the Patriots but ends up in the same jobs that he has, I still think he makes the same comment because he doesn't want his new team to be like, once a Patriot, always Patriot. What was that Mighty Ducks theme with making the coach was making jokes about the team that he was coaching, and the team heard about it and they started mocking him, and it's just like, so I think Brady was smart just to kind of say, I don't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
Steven says May for MVP. He's on that Patriot train. I mean,
if he balls out, it's going to be hard Walker.
Speak against him. He had Kenneth Walker, maybe a question mark there.
Kenneth Walker, yeah.
It means something. Now, what JJ are we talking about here? Are we talking about Justin Jefferson?
He's talking about Justin Jefferson.
Okay. I think Justin Jefferson ain't going nowhere, man.
But he did make those comments.
What did he say?
Comment? Yeah.
And Steve, you can help me out, but I'm pretty sure just the whole we could have kept Sam Darnold's like a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, something like that, and so now everyone's freaking out.
Oh, but again, we talked about it before. Did Sam after we drafted JJ the year before? What was there a chance to get Sam Darnold to stay? You go to the big.
The only chance you had was when you had the exclusive rights, right? Like the time to sign Sam was mid-season before you got to the end, and we'll see. Mike James,
But the thing is too is JJ's
JJ's for a reason. That man is vindictive as hell.
Yeah.
You don't know the little things that goes on in his head to prepare him every single day. So, and now, like you said, I think the post going into it, I mean, he was a Buccaneer for what, 3? He played like 3 more seasons after he left the Pats. So it's not like it was just like left for a year and then, he was gone for a little while. And I don't think I think that love was kind of lost there. I mean,
you're getting mixed reactions because all year JJ stuck behind JJ all year, said this is our dog, this is our guy.
You gotta say that.
Battle for him, and you gotta say that. And again, is he happy for Sam Darnold to get a shot? Yeah, so he's probably saying, so you got to read into it a little bit. I mean, Vikings would be foolish to trade away JJ Jefferson.
I don't think you can put it all on McCarthy with the shambles that was the offensive line all season either. You can't throw the ball 25 yards down the field on those deep crosses and those deep ends if you have no time in the backfield. So we'll see. Hopefully they can get some.
And I'm not going to dispute this comment from JJ's time being wasted. I mean, yes, it is being wasted per se, but again, only 2 teams can play for the title. Only 1 team can win it. And it takes 52 guys or 56, whatever the roster is, to get you there. So
how many yards did he have in the year with Darnold? How many yards did Jefferson have in 2024?
Let's see here.
Compare.
So let's see here. So 2024, 1533. So he was 500 yards less. With JJ, he was about 20 catches less with JJ and the quarterback crew this year. And he definitely, his touchdowns were way down. So,
and that's what it's all about.
But this was his lowest average per.
JJ McCarthy didn't play quarterback in 6 games this year,
right?
So there's a lot of extenuating circumstances there. They didn't play 17 games together. You can't put it all on JJ McCarthy in that thing. Mike James, I agree with you as well. I mean, honestly, it's not like his year was total shit. He still had over 1,000 yards. He could have caught some more balls and helped his numbers too, right? There was a couple bombs that changed the thing. 500 yards over the course of a 17-game season. Quick math on that. You're talking like 30 yards extra per game that he didn't get. That's one catch. That's one extra deep catch that he didn't get. So, I mean, the numbers aren't that far off, and he dropped a few.
Well, he dropped quite a bit. Look at the catch percentage. I mean,
Well, yeah.
I think that's the best juice they got. Sorry, I was addressing Steve's comment here. The Vikings get Burrow. JJ will be hell yeah, man. These guys won a goddamn national championship together. That's his boy. And I think that's the juice that they have in this whole Burrow talk. I think that's the only thing they got going them, that where Burrow would request the trade and be such a problem in Cincinnati. Like, Cincinnati's not just coming out and going, yeah, we're getting rid of this fucking bum. Right? Like, that's not the conversation that's going on.
But again, Burrow is as much as we like Burrow and Jefferson would definitely be stoked to have his old running buddy, Burrow's not the healthiest guy either. I mean, so we still got to focus on the offensive line. It still comes back to that offensive line.
Yeah. He had a couple of drops this year that completely changed the narrative on JJ McCarthy and on his season and those things too. So, let's not, the Dallas game, he dropped an easy one. He had another one. I can't remember what game it was, but I mean, even in the back half of the season, 2-3 touchdowns. And then he had a little bit of confidence rolling on the team as well. And things changed. So, a lot of things happened. This wasn't such an up and down year with injuries, offensive line play.
Drop passes.
There was a lot to fight through, man. Addison too. Only like trustworthy receiver you had in the core was Speedy Naylor. Like, to me, That's the guy that has to come back. You got to get Speedy back. Addison's got to go. You make
Hawkinson
Naylor.
can go.
I still think Naylor is probably a number 3 in that position. I think you're honestly going out and trying to find somebody that a bigger bodied receiver that can maybe like you have Naylor and a bigger body receiver in that like 2-3, right? To your 3, whoever's in that X, I don't know what they name them. Cody, you would probably have to correct me on this, that you kind of have that X, Y, and what they call the receivers, but that you need a bigger bodied core in that, you have a speedy guy in Naylor. To me, him and Addison are kind of almost not necessarily carbon copies. I know Addison's a little bit bigger, but you need somebody that can go up and get it like JJ, like Jefferson, right, in that position too, to take a little bit of that pressure off, that can go make those same kind of catches.
Well, and that's the whole thing. Take the pressure off, because the team knows that the bread and butter is Justin Jefferson. What are they going to do? He's going to double team him. So we need a running game. We need a second receiver. We need a lot more to get Jefferson open more to get him the ball. I mean, because coach
tight end play.
And coach, you can agree with me, but if you know that one player is their dominant player, what are you going to do? You're gonna do your best to stop them and to make everybody else beat you, right?
Correct.
So everybody knows Jefferson's our best player, so they're going to stop him.
Yeah, and Mike, you're right. I don't know ball. I know podcasting. That's why I'm here. So I defer to Cody on pretty much all the ball talk. But yeah, so the X is like your number 1, and then the Y would be that, and then your third one would be a Z? Is that what they would kind of affirm that as? QB, wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think having another body, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be AJ Brown, but you could find other guys out there, hopefully. So we'll be scouting through that too.
Like AJ Brown.
But again, the Vikings could have used, they could have moved JJ around a lot more, like the Seattle did with JSN, and put him in the backfield here and there, and try to get ways to get him open, and just instead of keeping him on the outside. I mean, so the Vikings are at fault a little bit. So. But again,
that's true. Like, he's your number 1 playmaker, and you're failing to try to get him the ball. Like,
and I feel like we saw a little bit of that later on with kind of these like de facto screenplays that were running him. You were doing a couple of different things, but yeah, why didn't it happen earlier in the season? Yeah. Right? KOC was just too damn stubborn for too long. Gracie was like Chris Rock managing. Oh, it was something, man. I don't, I think, I'd been calling for Kwesi's job since we started this show midway through this year. So no skin off my back to see him go. I want to see a lot of different things from this team over this
offseason. Like Chris Rock.
No, I know. Busting out Chris Rock.
Oh, man. It was just funny. It'll be interesting to see what goes on here. I don't know who's out there, and we're going to obviously get into it with the draft coverage. Maybe they find a day 2 or a day 3 wide receiver that can more fit that mold that KOC can get a little bit out of. That's a go up and get it type guy, because really Jefferson's the only one you have that's like that. All these other guys have to be kind of schemed open and run in that way. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think the Vikings are going to, I would say probably 85% of the offense is going to be back next year, just because of the cap situation and, what we got to work with. You're definitely going to get a few new rookies, probably a undrafted guy. You're definitely going to have 2 new quarterbacks behind JJ, or maybe 3 new quarterbacks, depending on what they want to do. So I would say 80% of this team is back next year.
Yeah, I still am leaning towards JJ McCarthy is the starter, just because I don't know what deal you're going to be able to make. To me, it's a Hail Mary that Burrow is even available and you're able to make that deal. So I don't know that there's a lot there. I don't think there's really anybody else on my list that I'm even asking there. And as far as like people that are available now, right? I mean, like Tyrod Taylor was a name that got thrown out, and it's like, that's not an upgrade. He's not starting over JJ McCarthy. But you never know who's getting cut right before camp, what goes on some of these other teams. You just never know, you know.
Well, that was the big issue.
Cap situations on other teams to know who may be available.
And that was the big issue last year, is that they waited forever to hire or sign a veteran quarterback. And we will.
You're not going to have that problem this year. Malik just once again doesn't really fit what KOC wants to do and what he wants out of his quarterback. You know, so it's going to be.
You think we keep Rosemer?
Yeah.
He'll be a practice squad guy. It's a decent story. He can run the practice squad. I think he's serviceable in that.
The Vikings have to get somebody that's been around for a while, that's not too much of a threat to JJ's job, and that will be willing to teach JJ the NFL game.
Yeah,
like
the Kirk Cousins keeps coming up.
No.
I don't think he's got it left there. Somebody was telling us last week, or maybe I was talking Flacco, Mike James.
Flacco would be the guy I would say that would fit that mold where he's coming.
Right?
Jameis Winston.
But the thing is he comes in, he knows the game. He's been around for a while. He's not going to threaten JJ's job.
Jameis Winston's an interesting name there. He's got the arm strength that KOC likes. I don't know if he kind of does fit that mold of the scrap heap guys that KOC has had success with, right?
I wouldn't mind Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, but Baker, I think, would threaten JJ's job. I mean,
that's fine. Get him, push him.
Well, push him is a good thing. I mean,
Kyler Murray, maybe.
Once again,
I don't trust him. I don't trust him in that playbook.
Hey, Mike James, appreciate you tuning in, man. We're probably getting ready to tap out in here for a couple hours. Cody's got to get back to work. One of his other 6 jobs.
I got contracts.
Cody, in our last 10 minutes here, man, go ahead and tell everybody about your weekend out in Wyoming and how everything went, and kind of get us a little bit prepared for the cavalry season that's coming up fucking soon, man.
It looked like a little cramped in that van that you had there.
Oh my goodness! It was.
How'd you send in a pic, man? I'm gonna go scour your Facebook real quick. See if we can
it was interesting. We went. I'm the assistant head coach and defensive coordinator for the Wyoming Cavalry. We're an arena team in the AIF, and we just had our training camp out in Gillette, Wyoming. I run the defense here in Minnesota. The offense lives in Gillette, Wyoming. And so we had to take a transit van, not big enough, apparently, to fit all of us. But we had to take a transit van out there and, spent a couple days out there, got to meet people from the community, do meet and greets, and just get everybody excited about bringing arena football back to Wyoming. Their former team played in Casper, so we had to make sure we set the record straight. But it was amazing. The weather, I mean, right now, what is it right now here in Minnesota, Big B? Because out there it was 54, no snow on the ground, feeling like spring, and then we come back to like in the teens, maybe single-digit weather. But everybody had a blast. We got there, it's always nice to have a safe, smooth trip. Going out for a training camp and trying to fight for a roster spot. I mean, I brought 13 of us out there and, just hoping for the best. I knew that I was bringing dogs, but, just being able to come back and have all 13 have good news and make that squad. Yeah. Oh, man. Dogs. We got dogs. Everybody's excited. We're hyped, ready to go. They brought energy, competition, and just everybody's hyped. Our first game is actually on Valentine's Day in Gillette, Wyoming, against the CNY Blue Devils. I'll throw up as a link for the stream. That way everybody can watch it. And we're excited to get it.
So, Cody, is there defensive players down there already on the team, or is this all coming from up here in Minnesota?
There's a few. There's a few
Okay.
that are over there right now still. Just that were from around the area. But I just had a guy from Florida. He competes and trains with a bunch of NFL players. He's flying to his hometown in Wisconsin, and then he'll be driving to practices here with me. I got a couple people from Fargo, North Dakota. I'll also be carrying some offensive players too. Quarterback, few wide receivers, O-line. So,
Okay.
yeah, oh
Awesome,
yeah,
man. Definitely some memories made there, some team bonding.
yeah,
Looks like you got a hell of a crew, man.
yeah. I'm grateful for each and every one of them, and we're just ready to ball out. We're ready to hit somebody.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we get that link and me and Bubba does play-by-play from a distance here.
Yeah, we're gonna
Let's get it.
We're gonna
Let's
watch
get
along
it.
on SPSN and call the games from here. And yeah, man, we love covering your team. And I actually have a show that night, so I won't be doing it live. But depending on what time's the game.
7 o'clock, 7 p.m. 7
Oh,
p.m.
yeah,
on Valentine's Day. On
be
Valentine's
stage
Day.
at that time. So I'm gonna wear the headset on stage. You can mute me while I'm singing a song B. And then bring me in. Maybe I can do a halftime show with you or something.
Well, it'd be better than Big Bad Buddy's halftime show, probably.
Oh,
We're gonna have comments on that. So we are gonna do a watch along Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes.
Let's do it. We'll make it happen. We'll throw up a link for everybody. If you guys are gonna be tuning in, please join us. We're gonna do a little Super Bowl watch along. I don't know if I'll be out here in the studio, if I'll be in the house watching on Prime. But yeah, man, just a great time to celebrate football, celebrate this family, obviously talk some more Cavalry football and leading up to the big game. For us, I'm not all about the game. We're here. We're going to comment on some commercials. We're going to comment on a Bad Bunny halftime show. I'm not going to know a single song in this one. Man, how did y'all feel? I thought Rihanna's halftime show was fucking balling. Like, why don't they just run Rihanna back?
you know what I'm saying, though. Oh,
Come on.
man.
Come on. Like, bring Janet Jackson's titty back. What are we doing?
That would boost ratings. It's all about ratings. It's all about
Man.
ratings.
I love doing this show with you all so much, man. These last few weeks
Absolutely.
have been awesome. Last week having Rap on from Vocal Bike. Hey,
That's the guy we need to get on for the. I mean, he's probably going to do his own football thing, but yeah, he's definitely got to be on football.
Yeah, well, we'll make sure we send out the invites. It'll be interesting. Obviously, we have VWO. We got Sir Picasso with us occasionally. We'll see what they're up to, if they're watching the game somewhere or if they can tap in with us. I think it'll be fun, man. We'll open it up. We'll spend a few hours together watching the game, commenting on it, and just kind of hanging out and talking ball, having our own little digital Super Bowl party. So we'll be making an event for that and kind of running some stuff out there. Make sure you look for the link. Anytime you see us live, make sure you climb in. Appreciate you all subscribing to the channel. Bubba Starts, that's Coach Cody, Big B from the Coast to Coast Network. And man, we love you all. We'll see you we'll see you on Sunday. See you Sunday. And then obviously every Tuesday. And we got more Cavalry coverage coming for you too. So y'all be good to one another. We'll see you Sunday. As we cheer on our Minnesota Vikings, let's also recognize true heroes. Pillars of Valor Coffee isn't just about exceptional taste. It's a veteran-owned company with a powerful mission. With every purchase, you're directly contributing to programs that empower and support veterans and first responders. Imagine starting your day with a rich, bold coffee that also fuels a vital cause. Pillars of Valor Coffee is dedicated to making a tangible impact, honoring those who've served our nation and communities. Join them in their mission. Visit pillarsofvalor.com to learn more and get your bag today. Pillars of Valor Coffee. Great coffee, greater purpose.